Hey, good morning, or good evening, depending on what time it is. So I have another Fancy Nancy book. I think this one is just like the original Fancy Nancy, and I thought you guys might like it. It starts out with, I love being fancy. I have to show you this picture. Can you see that bedroom? Look at her bed. Look at how fancy that is. My favorite color is fuchsia. That's a fancy way of saying purple. I like to write my name with a pen that has a plume, and that's a fancy way of saying a feather. Makes me think of you girls sitting at your desk and doing artwork. I can't wait to learn French because everything in French sounds fancy. Nobody in my family is fancy at all. They never even ask for sprinkles. There's a lot that they don't understand. Lace-trimmed socks do help me play better soccer. Sandwiches definitely taste better when you stick in frilly toothpicks. And a princess is supposed to keep her tiara on. Oh, what is a fancy girl to do? I asked my doll, Maribel. Her full name is Maribel Lavina Chandelier. Then I got an idea that is stupendous. And that is a fancy word for great. Maybe I can teach my family how to be fancy. Can you imagine teaching your daddy how to be fancy? I make an ad and I stick it on the fridge. Soon there is a knock on my door. My family saw the ad and they want to get started right away. The trouble is, my family doesn't own any fancy clothes. That's okay. I go and find, what is that fancy word? Oh yeah, accessories. Ooh la la! My family is posh, and that is a fancy word for fancy. My mom twirls in front of the mirror. Why don't we go someplace fancy tonight? How about dinner at King's Crown? Dad suggests. Wow, my parents are acting fancier already. May I escort you lovely ladies outside? The limousine is waiting. My dad is our chauffeur, which is a fancy word for driver. When we arrive at King's Crown, everyone looks up. They probably think we are movie stars. I am so proud of my whole family. They eat with their pinkies up. And they call each other darling. For desserts, let's have parfaits, my mom says. And that's a French word for ice cream sundaes. Amazing! My mom knows French. When our parfaits are ready, I curtsy and say, merci. I carry the tray like a fancy waiter. Whoops! I trip! I slip! And the tray does a double flip. And I don't feel fancy anymore. I want to go home. After I get all cleaned up, I put on my dressing gown. Those are fancy words for bathrobe. I feel much better and I am ready for a parfait. I tell my parents, thank you for being fancy tonight. I love you, my dad says. I love you, my mom says. It doesn't say it there, but Grandma also says, I love you very much. And all I say back is, I love you. Because there isn't a fancy or better way of saying that. Good night, girls. I love you so much.